Welcome back to my channel. Now, you may remember that in our last episode we talked about skin, but now imagine a big attack happening to it. Not with radiation, not with germs, but with ink. I'm just talking about the permanent artwork you make on your skin with ink called a tattoo. Now, thinking about tattoos, some questions are popping up in my head. Like, how are tattoos made? And how are tattoos permanent on our skin if our skin sheds so much that it's completely new in 30 days? And why do tattoos not disappear but fade away a bit after a long time? And if tattoos are permanent, can we find a way to take them out of our bodies? Well, let's find out together. Okay, so now let me tell you that a tattoo artist has a machine with needles and ink. Now these needles puncture holes in our skin, and through the holes they inject ink so it can reach our dermis. Wait, dermis? Dermis. Well, why do they have to inject the ink into the dermis instead of the epidermis or a hypodermis? Well, look, I technically told you the answer to the epidermis already. You know that it would just go away in 30 days because the epidermis sheds a lot that in 30 days it's completely new. Oopsies. And hypodermis? Well, in the hypodermis, only fat and fat and fat. And fat is the same thing as oil. Now imagine trying to draw a picture on oil with ink. It would be pretty blurry, wouldn't it be? Well, that's why the tattoo artists don't do it on the fat. So that's why they do it on the dermis. Well, okay, friends. Now, if they're doing it in the dermis, let me tell you how it's permanent on the dermis. Okay? Now, I told you that they would inject ink. And let me just tell you this, friends. When they inject ink, they inject it so that it could go anywhere from 50 to 3,000 holes per minute in your body. Whoa, that's a lot. And now, when they're injecting ink into the dermis, your body thinks that a big, huge attack is happening. So all of the white blood cells come over there and they throw the weapons they can and try to kill the ink. But it's not working. Well, can I tell you why? Well, look, ink is a non-living organism, but all the weapons which our white blood cells have are designed to kill living organisms. So that's why they can't really kill the ink. And now all these white blood cells realize that they can't win and this ink is not defeatable. So they leave. All of them except the macrophage. The macrophage still try to beat them. But then the macrophage also understand that they can't win. But if you can't win, it's better not to lose, right? Well, so the macrophage come up with a clever plan. They're going to trap this ink to their cells. And how? Well, through a process called phagocytosis. Now look, in phagocytosis, let's say that this is the macrophage, if you can see over here. And now the macrophage opens its mouth like Pac-Man and gobbles up the ink. And then it will secure the ink inside itself. And it will also do it only at the injecting scene. And why? Why would it just do it at the injecting scene? Well, the macrophage do not know what's going to happen if the ink reaches any other part of the body. So they keep it at the injecting scene, and that's why you can see it, the picture, and it won't be like messed up. Okay? Now sometimes, now like this, it would be like that, and you can see the ink, but you can't see the macrophage. Okay, now let me come back. The macrophage can't stay there forever. They do die. So when one macrophage dies, then another comes to replace it and gobble it up. Now coming back to our last question, why do they fade away in a long time? Well, not fade away, but fade a bit in a long time. Well, you see, when this process is happening, some of the ink breaks into small fragments and, well, they escape. Now, when a lot of this process happens, then a bit more and more and more ink get escape. So that's why you can see the fading after a long time, that it's fading a bit. Okay, now do you remember how I asked if its tattoo is permanent? Is there a way to take it off? Well, do you remember that I just told you that the ink escapes a bit by bit when you turn it into smaller fragments? Well, the tattoo artist tries to break up the ink into small fragments in a fast time with a laser beam. And the laser, well, it breaks the ink into smaller pieces and they will escape from your body. And that's how you take away a tattoo. And that's it for today, friends. And happy Halloween!